I'm Rob Skinner, and this is the Rob Skinner Podcast. What if you live today knowing you will one day look Jesus Christ in the eye? Not metaphorically, not poetically, literally. In this episode, I'm anchoring ourselves in the sobering words that Jesus said in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 10, that we will all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. That moment is not meant to paralyze us with fear, but to focus us, to get us galvanized, to take action and live with purpose. I read the book Stephen Covey wrote, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and he talks about begin with the end in mind. We're asking an even deeper question. What if the real end isn't retirement or success or applause, but standing before Jesus? When you live with that kind of an eternity in mind, everything changes. Your priorities shift, your courage rises, the trivial just fades away. And this episode is going to challenge you to measure your life not by temporary wins, but by eternal reward, and for you to start making every day count. All this and more on the Rob Skinner Podcast. Welcome back to the Rob Skinner Podcast. My goal is to inspire you to live a no regrets life, make this life count, and multiply disciples, leaders, and churches. In 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 10, it says, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each one may receive what is due him for the things done while in the body, whether good or bad." In Stephen Covey's classic, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, it starts with the habit, begin with the end in mind. And he meant that we should live today in light of where we ultimately want to end up. I remember when I graduated high school, I was a very mediocre student in high school, just basically not great, couldn't really go to the college I want to. And so I ended up really being forced to go to a junior college because I couldn't get into the universities I wanted to. So I went into the guidance counselor. Said, "Hey, I'd like to go to UC Berkeley." And I'm sure they kind of laughed to themselves like, this guy doesn't have a dream of getting into UC Berkeley. But that's what I told them. They said, "Well, you're going to have to get straight A's from now on." And I had never gotten straight A's in my life. So that was like, oh, okay. Well, I said, okay, if that's what I got to do. That's what I'm going to do. And for the next 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year of junior college, I got straight A's. I started with the end in mind. I thought I've got to get into UC Berkeley. I don't know why. I just really wanted to go there. I wanted to get into business school. And so for the first and only time, I got straight A's. And for the follower of Jesus, that the end isn't getting into a university. It's not retirement. It's not success or recognition. It's the moment that we stand before Christ. That's the real finish line. And the Bible reminds us, just as man is destined to die once and after that to face judgment, one day we will all look Jesus in the eyes and give an account of our lives. And he's going to reward us for the things we've done, whether good or bad. And that can be the most joyful moment imaginable, or it can be very sobering. Now, for the 10X Christian, and when I say 10X Christian, I'm referring to the book I wrote, talking about a disciple who wants to appear before Jesus and receive, bring him back 10 times what he gave us. Remembering that day brings clarity. It reinforces our purpose. It brings courage. And it helps us to cut through the noise of what's happening in our lives, what's happening in our churches, and just ask, what really matters to God? What am I doing today that will last forever? And throughout history, wise men and women have practiced what the ancients called memento mori. And that simply means remember death. Memento mori. Not in a morbid way, but just as a spiritual compass. It's so important. We got to take time to remember our time is short and our judgment is sure. We're definitely going to be judged. And we start making every day count, knowing, hey, that's coming. That's just definitely, it's not a matter of if, but just when. And that helps us to forgive faster. we start to love more deeply, we serve more freely, and we start asking those key 10x questions like, am I multiplying what Jesus gave me? And will he say, well done, good and faithful servant? Is what I'm doing today building up eternal reward or just empty applause? And when we begin each morning with that eternal end in mind, our priorities realign. Suddenly, the trivial just loses its pull, and eternity takes its rightful place at the center of our lives and our decisions. So today, just take a quiet moment and imagine standing before Jesus, not to fear that day, but to let it focus you. Let it sharpen your purpose and give weight to every choice. And it will help you to sort through all the different things that cause pressure in your life. You feel like, I got to do this, I got to do that. So much of that stuff, it's not going to be remembered. It's not going to be important. But there are a few things that will matter the most. And that's how a Christian, 10x Christian lives, with the end in mind and eternity in the heart of God. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that each may receive what is due him for the things done in the body, whether good or bad. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 10. Let's live as 10x Christians and keep the end in mind. Thanks for listening. Here's how you can help support the program. First of all, really want you to sign up for my weekly newsletter. This is something I've just started this year. I want to keep in better touch with my listeners. I want to have more connection, more friendship. I really appreciate the fact that you listen, but I don't want it to be a one-way conversation. I don't want to do all the talking. I'd like to hear what's going on with you. And the way to do that is to receive the newsletter, and then we can just communicate from time to time. And so just go to my website, robskinner.com, and sign up for my newsletter. Secondly, read and review my latest book, The 10X Christian. And you can find it on my website, or you can go straight to Amazon.com. Either way is fine. But please read it and then review it on Amazon, because that will help other people to find it. And it's really, really important to me. I'd super appreciate you doing that, because my goal is to inspire you to live a no regrets life, to make this life count, and to multiply disciples, leaders, and churches. Have a great day and make this life count.